All right. Next question, also from Suki. Can the NLI evaluate Buddhism in terms of its opinions of it, how it operates on an intra-civilizational and extra-civilizational level, and in relation to natural law? Thank you. Quote, when I refer to Buddhism, I'm primarily referring to early Buddhism and Theravada Buddhism. Okay, I don't know that word.
Yeah, those distinctions tell me nothing. I'm just not that informed. Although I've read some examples where Buddhists talk about violence as justified and act on it, such as against communists or Muslims or for a nationalist cause, it's unclear to me as an outsider how much of that has to do with any Buddhist dogma and how much is simply treating Buddhism as an aesthetic tradition and otherwise coming to terms with reality. In this respect, it appears similar to Christianity, where taking it too seriously is suicidal, or in any case makes one politically irrelevant, and most successful Christian societies reinterpreted the scripture as something compatible with how the real world works, or simply ignore the contradictions.
Hold on. Here's how I would frame it, is that if you look at natural law ethics, which are just aristocratic ethics, right? Let's see. Is that our ethics, our aristocratic ethics, are about doing, right? How to do things, how to get things done. They're about accepting reality or manipulating reality. But Buddhism's core is actually a therapeutic ethics. It's therapeutic, an individual, and an act of withdrawal. It's not like the Western ethics or the natural law ethics, which is an effort to produce a legal moral system to advance cooperation and cause, right? And so I view it as a Buddhism is a pacifist, somewhat hopeless way of getting through life under the presumption that nothing you can do can change the conditions of the world, only that you can change your reaction to it. This same principle, part of this principle, lives on in Stoicism, which is, but it's more of the things you can't control than you can control how you react to them. But Stoicism is still an empowerment religion or philosophy, which seeks to have you achieve the best you can be within the context of the aristocratic society. So, for example, you go with so our world tries to foster cooperation, and Buddhism tries to foster non-interference. So I can find another note here. So Buddhism evolved as a means of pacification under conditions of high Malthusian pressure in caste societies. It functioned to reduce male conflict and female instability by moral suppression. It is a parasite-resistant adaptation. This is important. And so it attempts to reduce conflict by suppressing group competitiveness. Now, natural law is very different. It forms moral systems as the solutions to the problem of computation, which is figuring things out under constraint. So our natural law is an evolutionary, which is in Buddhism an equilibrial group strategy. So in the end, natural law demands positive reciprocity, and Buddhism demands negative withdrawal. And so I used to say it in simple terms is that if the world is too much chaos around you, Buddhism is a very good strategy for saying, producing mindfulness. That's a very good individualist strategy under lots of constraint. If you are able to organize because most of European history means that the society is formed as a militia, right? A military. A militia is different from a military, but it's formed as a militia. Is that people had more reason to work together than not. And so it's an activist. Western theory is more activist. I hope that answers this question.
What you said just made me realize maybe the reason why Buddhism found such fertile adaptation in Far East Asia, i.e. China, Korea, Japan, and so on, or at least because at least in China's case, the state is very dominant, and as the lower class, instead of adopting Stoicism, which is an active form of mumindfulness practice, that the only venue that's available for the lower class is the passive, right?
Yeah.
I.e., don't try to become agentic, don't make waves, because you can, otherwise there are very few venues that offer to you for making such waves.